Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my combo classroom, where we're here for an awesome little live special to discuss some fun coincidences and celebrations related to the fact that we managed to pass 150,000 subscribers here within the first 300 days of this channel, I'm pretty sure, being alive. Let's check up the exact stats of where we were at between how long it's been, because since I posted the first video on this channel, it has been, including today, 296 days. And I guess since this channel was originally created, it has been 301 days. So if you measure by when I started the channel, I guess we're gonna be 1 second early. So, or 1 day late. In any case, I greatly appreciate all of my combo lords. This is really insane that this, which is really just my bonus channel, has managed to gather so much random attention, partially from the shorts, which was because when they first launched, when I first put out this channel, I had filmed a bunch of random shorts about TikTok that I had posted on TikTok, that I also began getting into the idea of consolidating my ideas into shorter little 1 minute or 50-second videos once in a while. And they didn't have the shorts tab properly amalgamated on this channel or any channel yet. If you went to the videos tab on a channel back then, even this was literally just 8 months ago, it would show all of the videos and all of the shorts. And I didn't want my channel to be bogged down with shorts. So I was like, I'm going to put all the shorts on a bonus channel. I'll call it Combo Class Shorts. And then I started posting bonus content here, and I called it Combo Class Bonus. And then I allowed myself to express myself more and more and treat this like my playground, and I called it Domotro from Combo Class. And at some point, if the name Domotro is well known enough as a mononym in society, then we will just call this channel Domotro. But I'm sticking the From Combo Class on there from now, to maybe draw some viewers between the two channels who don't know about each other. To anyone who hasn't seen, I did put out a new main Combo Class channel episode, the channel where I put my best, purest, most edited, perfectionist episodes. We got a new one about the Fibonacci sequence and some cool patterns that I would describe as modular arithmetic, but more as a hook we could see in Mod 10 and in Powers of Mod 10. Patterns that emerge in the final digits of what Fibonacci numbers look like. And there's, funny enough, a coincidence with the 150,000 we just hit. That's a number I wrote on the whiteboard in the last Combo Class episode. Completely unrelated. I had already been filming and planning this episode. I didn't even realize this correlation, that this channel would maybe be doing a special named after the number 150,000 in the near future. I wrote on the whiteboard in the last episode 150,000 at one point. And that's because it's the period length for the Fibonacci amount to cycle in a certain mod that lines up with Powers of 10. Now, we're not going to spoil that episode, because I bet a bunch of people haven't seen it yet. That's linked in the description. So you can always watch that after the fact, or get started if we take a break or we're talking slow at any point. But what I do want to note, we got a lot of new clocks, and we tried to hang them up, and they might not be that sturdy hung up at the moment. Now, I did want to note that 150,000 showed up in that episode in a really funny, random way. So, I'm going to talk about something here that is going to, to a small degree, it'll spoil the episode that I put out last night that I hope most of you have already seen. If you haven't, still definitely watch it. This is not a major spoiler of that. we were talking about something that I often don't even like to name the concept in the episode until later. I like to draw viewers into an intuitive, personal conclusion. You know, maybe start only using terms that we're all overly familiar with, like whole number and like divide and stuff. And we led up to, I did write in a title card, that something called the Pisano Period is the length that the Fibonacci cycle, and this is always a finite number, that the Fibonacci cycle will loop in a given mod. Now, mods are like our clocks where we, spin around the hands of clocks and such. And this would be similar to mod 12 if I turn 12 to 0. Pretend 12 says 0. It's also similar to the last digit in base 12. If I assumed 10 would get a single digit symbol, so would 11, and the 12 turns to 0 still holds. So, I showed in the episode that not only can we look at mod 10 under things like the Fibonacci sequence to build to cool patterns that would be in the last digit of a number in base 10. And the way we noticed that was that the 60th Fibonacci number ends in a 0. The 61st Fibonacci number ends in a 1. The 62nd also ends in a 1. And then we go to 2, 3, 5, 8, and so on for the last digits. It sort of overflows at that point. The last digit cannot contain 13, the next Fibonacci number. However, we could go further. When we looked at the 300th Fibonacci number, we saw that the last 2 digits started to do the cycle. The 300th Fibonacci number ends in 0, 0. The 301st ends in 0, 1. The 302nd ends in 0, 1 again. Then 0, 2, 0, 3. Then to 0, 5, 0, 8, 1, 3. And the later Fibonacci numbers up to the 2-digit ones. So that's just the very beginning of that episode. And the main point of that episode was to show these things will cycle in any mod, meaning that in any base, the last digit will repeat, and that we can gather patterns about multiple last digits of a number by looking at the base number squared. Meaning, like, if I look at the last digit of a number in base 10, that's compared to mod 10. But I can actually get patterns about the last 2 digits by talking about mod 100, 10 squared. There are 10 squared amount of 2-digit base 10. Mod 10, 2 places, has the same amount of combinations of numbers as 1 place in mod 100. And we could do the same for 3, mod 1000, and so on. And it turned out that the reason the Fibonacci sequence started repeating in 2-digit sectors after 300 is that is the cycle length of it under mod 100. So what if I wanted to know mod 1000? Well, here, the last 3 digits of Fibonacci numbers might repeat in a cycle related to 1500. That's how long the cycle is. Once again, this is not fully spoiling the episode. There are deeper things I want people to learn from the episode, and it's still fun, so still watch that if you haven't seen it yet. It's linked in the description. But the reason I had to bring it up in this stream again is that the next one I wrote is 15,000, then 150,000, and hold up, that's the number in the title of today's stream. 150,000 is the cycle length of mod 10 to the 5th power. Let's see, how much is that? Mod 10,000 or 100,000. Mod 100,000. And that makes it so that if we can look up, I don't know if we can, we're going to try in a second. If we can look up the 150,000th Fibonacci number, I already know it ends in 00000 when expressed in base 10. I already know that the 150,001th Fibonacci number ends in 00001. And then they're going to cycle up with their last digits, going all the way perfectly through every Fibonacci number up to the max of the 5-digit range. So, coincidentally, 150,000 showed up in the very last episode as the seed of a pattern in how long Fibonacci sequences might loop in our base. Now, if you want to see how they'll loop in other bases, make sure to check out that main episode that I have linked in the description. I will give another reminder that this is my bonus channel and that my best episodes do end up on the combo class channel. Now, there are a few things that I want to somewhat begin with. That was, in a way, my beginning, but there are other things to begin with, one of which is I got some nuts for the squirrels, but I might have left those out. We might have to run and grab the nuts for the squirrels again in a minute. The other thing is I filmed a bonus video with my camera guy, Carlo, when we were filming yesterday. We had a fire lit already, and I decided maybe I'll film a little bonus video for hitting 150,000, because we didn't have the service right there to check if we had it, but it was around the time that we hit 150,000. Technically sometime later yesterday that already happened, and I filmed a little few-minute bonus video of me making a few little messages. Ironically, it's more for people who haven't been watching the streams, and I am deciding to only play it now during the stream, but I'm going to play a little few-minute bonus video that I filmed with Carlo, because I'm not going to release this on the main channel, probably, because, I don't know, this stream serves the purpose of being happy about 150,000, and whatever mini announcements in this are already kind of known to the stream people, but let me pull up this little video just to give you guys the 4-minute video instead of having it not go out to anyone. We already had a nice little fire lit. That this was the later thing we filmed with the fire. You'll see later in another episode the earlier things we filmed with the fire. It was rather large. This is when it's at its smaller state. Now, let me get this new thing in here where I need somebody else running the tech on my live streams real bad. Oh man. So I need to, here we go. We might see some glitches for a moment. Layers and layers. I want to make this the right size. How can I make this the right size? So, this is a little bonus video. I hope I can get the sound to come through right. That me and Carlo filmed yesterday, not quite evening, late afternoon or something. So, hope you enjoy a little bonus video with our flames. We may add some more flames during the live stream too. We'll see. For now, here is our flames in a little thank you announcement that I wasn't sure if I was going to release or not, but I decided let's just play it as part of the live stream. Now, I need to put the audio on. Hey folks, I'm Domotro. Welcome back to this combo classroom where I wanted to make a little bonus video because this channel just hit 150,000 what I call combo lords subscribe to it. And I think that's just remarkable and cool, and I had to make a few announcements related to it. 150,000, of course, is a base-dependent trait. If we didn't count in base 10, it would be an arbitrary-looking number to a degree. But we're still going to need to appreciate it. We're past a 1/7 of a million, on our way to a 1/6 of a million, and past another little landmark on this channel that's less than a year old. And I want people to remember, this is my bonus channel. This is my playground where we're going to learn extra facts that don't fit on my main combo class channel, and where we're going to do other experiments like some music that I hope to release before too long, some writings, including fictional stuff that I'll be linking through here, and other fun things like that. Now, make sure you're tuned in to the new Fibonacci number episode I put out on my main combo class channel, because on this channel, we may be getting a little more free form going forward, being my personal playground of sorts, but I have a lot of great mathematical concepts lined up for that combo class channel for approximately weekly episodes. And I am on this channel also about to be soon setting up this thing. YouTube's going to give me a bonus for this called memberships, where YouTube says they'll pay me $500, which is huge here. That'll like double next month's income if I set up this feature called memberships. That's similar to what I put on Patreon, like people who want to help support our combo dream and get a little bit of extra bonus footage. So I'm going to be putting that on this YouTube channel too. If anyone wants to support, that's really helpful. If not, still love all the viewership and awesome stuff from you. I just turned 30 recently, but we're going to have an even wilder 30s. 10 years ago, when I entered my 20s or whatever, my life was completely different. And I'll show some fun flashbacks over time. But you folks don't even know that older story. All of the combo class stuff you've seen is just in the past year or two. And I have even bigger, funner dreams now that we're entering closer to our middle of grade -2 and moving on to our future negative grades of combo class. Also, thanks to my main man Carlo, who's behind the camera on a lot of these shots. Special thanks to everybody else who has helped with this dream in some shape or form. Remember, here at Combo Class, we're going to have fun, big things coming. Just want to make a fun little bonus. Carlo, make sure not to frame it so it's just the last 3 letters. When it's just the last 3 letters, that's bad. We have big things coming. I love you all so much, and I'm unbelievably thankful for the fact that this bonus channel of mine, although it's weird that it's way bigger than the main channel, the fact that any channel I've created out of the many years of creating different projects on YouTube, my whole life I've loved creating YouTube channels and watching YouTube. The fact that this one in its first year is already at that base-dependent 150,000 mark is just unbelievable. So I love you all, and I'll see you again for some more math and science and everything soon. Okay, so that is a little bonus video that I was going to put out if I didn't stream, and I figured let's give it to our viewers, even if we're streaming and stuff anyway. Okay, we got weird layers, so we need to get me back in here. Where am I? There we go. Now, thank you for everyone who stuck around and watched our little bonus thanks. It's true, all those things, and we may go into more detail on those in a minute. And we even do have one more log if we do want to have one more little campfire in a minute. This stream is mostly about checking out some interesting little facts about 150,000, which we may continue to do in a moment, and just celebrating the awesome quick growth on this channel. I know a lot of it is the shorts viewers and stuff, and so maybe my pure metric is the amount of people subscribed to the other combo class channel. Maybe it's more of, you know, a 32,000 diehard viewer fan base than all the people here. But still love you all. I'm sure some of those shorts viewers will continue to stumble back in enough to become part of the combo realm. So, unbelievably cool. I have some very big plans coming. I'm not gonna promise anything or give too many spoilers about what'll be coming, because I think that although I did read once that humans actually sometimes like information more when they've gotten a semi-spoiler about it, at other times it's better to under-promise and over-deliver. So you folks can maybe just trust me that we will have a lot of fun things coming soon. And that, you know, I won't over-promise now so that we can over-deliver later. Now, taking a peek at our comments, I do really appreciate all of you who are saying hello and watching things. Oh, and some people noted they like when stuff fell. I think they got their wish. I think some stuff fell earlier in the video. So we can try and hang these back up for now. And now we won't be shocked if we get any more falling stuff. Trying to hang another clock up here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, I do think we might, in a moment, have a celebratory one more special campfire log. And before we do that, something that I might be curious about roasting that we might want to hunt for and look for a moment are some rare fruits. So there's some rare fruits that are beyond a combo corridor back here that you folks may know less about. Do you know about my corridor? I'm somewhat saving it for an episode about infinite sequences, because I think this will be a good demonstration of going halfway, then halfway, then halfway somewhere for a finite convergent sequence. So we're not going to take too long of a peek here. However, there's, at the end of that hallway, this tree of a thing called loquats. And I am going to run over and grab some of those real quick, because I think there could be fresh ones on the ground, and if not, there could be reachable ones on the tree. So, yeah, I got some of these rare fruits. Had to go on a little excursion, because if I do a campfire in a moment, I may want to collect whatever rare fruits we have first to look at there. Now, these loquats, I got 2 from the ground because a bunch fall. You know, and some fruits that fall are still ripe and ready to eat and appreciate. And then I knocked one down from the tree with a golf club because we needed to get one more. Now, these fruits are quite interesting. It's a tropical fruit, quite different than the other sort of tropical tasting fruits that I showed in the other stream, the longans and loquats and rambutans. These ones are pretty cool. They grow naturally around the area I'm in the Bay Area of California. Sometimes you'll be walking down the street, see a tree with these way high up, and you're like, man, if I had a ladder, I could get like 50 of those. Now, we're going to... I wonder if there's any apples ready. And I don't know if we got any apples ready. They're so close. So I might have to run over and grab 1 or 2 fruits to roast on the fire, as well as 1 or 2 other snacks. And I should grab the fire pit as well, because I could make a fire pit out of bricks like I've often been doing, but I do have a fire pit that'll be a little more self-contained for a little celebratory fire to cook some stuff again. I know we did a campfire stream the other day, but it's fun and it gives us a good excuse to chat about a variety of topics while looking at topics like combustion in real life. So what I do have for that is 1 or 2 more semi-burnt logs. I know these look pretty burnt, but they're not fully burnt. I put them out. They have a lot more life in them. And we also got a bunch of kindling and stuff. And I also have this thing I soaked with water a bit, but it's sort of like a fire starter log of some natural fire starter log sort that is more like a super compacted, almost cardboardish material that should maybe light and stay lit better. So I do want to grab a few things, the campfire pit, and what do I need? Campfire pit, fruit, nuts for the squirrels. I will be back really soon, but we're going to have a very brief intermission. I want everybody to leave a comment with what type of thing you would like to eat cooked on a campfire. Or if you're too scared to eat it cooked on a campfire, what type of thing you'd someday like to see me eat cooked on a campfire. I will be back soon. I'll be back intermediately as I bring in items right here. We'll set up where our campfire is going to go. In fact, we got to just move this desk again. Okay. Here, I'll frame it like the last 3 letters, like I told Carlo not to. Now, we'll be back as I bring in campfire equipment in a moment. Leave a comment with what you'd like to see roasted. All right, step 1. Here's a campfire pit. Now, I will admit, the campfire pit got more damaged by an experiment I cannot show yet. I've been filming for a snack break episode on the main Combo Class channel, and something happened with the watermelon that broke a little hole in this thing, so it's a little more damaged than it used to be from a watermelon from a snack break scene, but we're going to work with what we got. So we have this and our wood, but what I still need to bring is a little bit of rolled up paper or cardboard or something, and a fruit or 2 or other thing to roast on there. Alright, folks. Getting fire stuff. Sorry this took a moment, but we're just going to try and do a little fire natural with... I do have lighter fluid over there if I need to get it going extra special or easy, but I figure with this possibly fire starter-ish log, shouldn't be too hard despite the wind and casual nature to start our fire. I do enjoy actually fire starting when you put a more conscientious effort toward it when you're camping and you're trying to make yourself a little place to have warmth, light, and food for the evening. Pretty crazy that fire can achieve all of those things. Warmth, light, and food. Sounds too good to be true. However, you know, you gotta be careful with it. If you ever see me do fire stuff, do not copy me. I am your expert to learn about math and philosophy and facts, and I am your interesting guy to study the human experiments of other things on. Treat me like a test subject you're watching. Yeah, don't copy this stuff, you know? You get to see me like a test subject. You get to see what happens to me when I deal with the fire. And with fire, I do also see it as a force that represents our combo class to a degree of our mildly chaotic nature, of understanding that we need to sometimes destroy in order to have room to create. And that is why we will apply metaphorical fire to other things throughout our combo class time. Like maybe we will burn down the modern calendar system, or like some inefficient letters in the English language, or perhaps we will burn down the fact that clocks say 12 on top instead of 0, or, you know, burn down some of those tropes that aren't really helping us humans out much. Now, what I'm doing right now is just gathering some kindling and some twigs, because we have plenty of trees that drop nice dry twigs into our realm. And so those are going to act great for our little kindling stuff. And now we're just going to hope that this goes well enough. Normally I might add a little bit of cardboard as well as a mediator, but I think this stuff will do the trick well enough. Now, as for what I brought for our little celebratory cookout, I do have more stuff I could gather from the front yard in a minute, but what I have now, apart from the loquat, is relatively similar to what we had last time. But this time we will get a slightly more in-depth look at the cooking process instead of rushing it. I have a hot dog or sausage and bun to cook, and I have a nectarine to apply in an interesting heat method. Very similar to the last stream's things we cooked, but I'll give a little more detailed version of them this time. Now, first let's just see if this fire is going to want to light on its own, or if we're going to need to apply cardboard, lighter fluid, or anything of that sort. Once again, do not copy. No copy Domotro fire or science experiment things. Alright, so checking our comments real quick. Somebody said, hey, I wonder if I'm grabbing the ladder to get some more fruits. That'd be a good call. I was just grabbing a bunch of random cooking supplies and fire supplies. Somebody is mentioning is cardboard edible. I don't know if it all is. I remember I used to work at a music store and they had these packing peanuts. And there was, I don't know, I have to look into this, whether it was a myth or fact that the packing peanuts were fully made out of a Cheeto-like material. In fact, one of my coworkers said at the previous company they had worked at, when you had those packing peanuts that looked like styrofoam, but apparently they said styrofoam costs more money than using something like cornstarch that makes them technically edible. Do not try this. I have not even tested this. If I'm not even going to test something, that should tell you something. I'll look more into this later, but a coworker told me once that they had a previous coworker at a different company that would pour spices as if you were making hot Cheetos out of plain Cheeto-like chips onto packing peanuts and eat them. Like, sprinkle some cayenne, some garlic powder, some salt, and munch them down. And so I need to look into that. But apparently even some packing peanuts are made out of cheaper materials, which I imagine are better for the planet. If it's easier to make stuff out of cornstarch, why are we making stuff out of plastic? Kind of crazy. So don't copy that necessarily. A lot of people say they have eaten them. Yes, do not copy, only paste. Paste means share my videos with the world. I don't always apply my hustling to this channel, but maybe my combo lords can help us spread the dream as we are getting more and more combo lords on this random bonus channel of mine, and the dream will continue to grow. Now, the fire is pointing a little toward me. I'm going to shift it over a little bit. All right. So, what we're going to start with as far as culinary arts to celebrate our majestic 150,000 subscribers is going to be a thank you to a creature that has helped us achieve this 150,000. The squirrels. I think if there were no squirrels that had ever run by the background of the classroom, we would be at about 149,000. I think the squirrels added about 0.5% of views to, okay, maybe that's overrating them. Maybe we'd be pretty close to 150,000. But there's at least one person who has subscribed because of the squirrels and seeing a fun thing they did in the background. So they have helped me achieve this dream. They are utterly my allies, and we are going to give them nuts. So here's a nut up there to lure them down into a lower nut and a lower nut, a lower nut and the lowest nut that dropped. So now maybe we'll have squirrels slowly get closer and closer to the realm. The new generation of young squirrels are quite friendly, and they don't mind humans as much as the old jaded squirrels. So, by the way, yes, this is still going. They don't mind humans as much as the old jaded squirrels. So I would say that the new generation of squirrels is going to have quite a good chance of forming a deep bond and alliance with me. Now, these are having trouble lighting without... It's mostly the fire starty log that's... Oh, God, it fell through the hole in the bottom. Okay. Don't worry, folks. We're going to put it back in the fire. We're not going to... If I needed to, I would put it out, but we don't need to. We can use it still. Don't worry, folks. Don't worry, folks. We're getting this back in. This is the hole the watermelon broke through it. I'm going to need to get a new fire pit soon. I will replace this soon because the watermelon did not treat this thing that gently. And maybe this amount of weight is overloading it. Now, to help make sure that it continues to stay fully alive, what we're going to want to do is add a few little helpers. There also, okay, there's some little burning things on the ground I'll put out first. Gotta get out all your burning ground things before you move on. Just stomping out a burning ground thing or two. Gotta be safe, folks. Now, we're going to apply a little kindling, a couple little sticks. This stick was from the desk, and those will maybe help it gather a little further fire and help these little bigger logs out. Now, all right, so thank you for all of the people who have joined me here. What we're going to throw in first okay, there's ash all over my computer screen. What we're going to do first here is throw in a nectarine like I showed before, and we're going to give a slightly more detailed tutorial about something that I did in a previous stream. Part of why I want to do it more detailed is just that it's something I wanted to say at some point. And part of it is that after that last stream, when I turned off the stream, last stream I cooked a dog in a nectarine. I ate the dog. I'm like, that's pretty dang good. That's good. And then I ate the nectarine. And I was like, that is magnificently good. That is next level good. So we're going to have to show how to do this technique. Shockingly simple. Now, it turns out when you cook certain fruits, some stone fruits get a little weirder. I've tested them, and I will rank them like plums get a little weird when you do this if you're not careful. Apricots on the fence, a little bit of that plumness, a little bit of perfection. Peaches and nectarines seem to be my favorite to do this technique with. Now, that's not to underrate apricots. Apricots are one of the greatest fruits of all time, but with this technique, I've found peaches and nectarines are especially good. Now, all you gotta do is wrap the baby in foil and toss it in somewhere hot. And you let it cook there for a while, and it literally becomes this steaming pie bomb, this pie flavored, filled, without any added sugar or crust needed. This little pie of its own, and this magnificent little bomb. And okay, I'll show you when it comes off the grill. We're also going to, like I said, cook a few loquats, and we're going to try those a few methods. I got 3 loquats here. We're going to try one tossed in the grill, straight up on its own, it's in the grill right there. We're going to try another one wrapped in foil, tossed in the grill. And then we are going to try another on a stick of some sort. Now, thank you to everybody who's joined our comments whenever we do stuff about edible things. Do not copy me on eating random foods either, in addition to the fire. Generally don't copy me on random stuff, and that will give me more free reign to do more cool random stuff. And one of the next combo class episodes is going to be a snack break that does relate to eating a lot of weird edible things that I'm not going to say. I'm going to put a disclaimer that it's just about... Okay, the theme of the episode actually is about how more people should be eating these things and how they should be appreciated more. But do your research before you decide whether you're going to eat something you see me eat. First of all, I could be wrong. I'm not a botanical expert as much as I am in some other topics. Second of all, if you see me eat something that I have confirmed is safe, that does not mean that what you're eating is the same plant as what I'm eating. There's lookalikes. The potato plant I have back there is completely poisonous. It's getting lower and weirder, but if I tried to eat that whole potato plant, I would die. And so the potato plant looks like a tomato plant, but they're entirely different. And so you gotta do far enough research that you know whatever you ever eat is actually the same species as whatever you looked up being safe. So you don't only have to look up that here's how the safe thing looks. You gotta also look up, are there any things that are similar looking to the safe thing and less safe? You know, So your false positives and false negatives, in a way. Now, the other thing we are going to cook, and I don't think we need to light the other thing. I think these logs are catching. I think it's going to work just fine. I was going to add a little kindling and stuff like that. What I'll do is continue to add a few little twigs here and there, because those aren't going to hurt it. Those will only help it as long as they're dry enough. But, oh, this is good. This is a nice little mini log. And I'm just getting a few more twigs. So, adding a few twigs won't hurt, but I think this thing is good to go. Now, the other thing, what I was going to do is cook a little sausage. I'm sorry to anyone who happens to be vegetarian or vegan or something. I was vegetarian for 5 or 6 years when I was about ages, let me think, about 12 to 17 or 11 to 16, something around that range. I would have to pinpoint exactly, but around ages 11 to 17, many of those years in the middle, there was a 5-ish year span, maybe 6, where I was a vegetarian. And it was partially because a bunch of friends in my friend group were thinking about that at the moment, and we're like, oh, we feel weird harming animals, they're taking a break, I'll take a break too. Now I'm back to eating meat. This is actual meat. But, I don't know, it's something interesting to think about the morality. The thing is that it's almost impossible to avoid harming smaller creatures in some shape or form. Like, I own a garden so that we can eat some of our own food, and you're stepping on bugs every day and stuff, so it's like, what do you determine is or isn't a bug? So it's a kind of weird line that made me end up deciding I'm gonna let myself be a carnivore. But sorry to anybody who happens to be a vegetarian. I've been there before, and sometimes we will eat meat on a bonus video. Now, okay, I'm not going to go into this right now, but okay, I'm just going to say one thing that's controversial, and we're not going to go into the full story yet, but I have given my friends permission to eat me if it ever came down to it. Okay, we'll go into the full story later. Now, it is true that you don't want to just eat too much purely meat. I would have more vegetables here to grill. And actually, maybe I can run inside. No, I can't run inside when the fire's going. So, normally I would try and prepare more vegetables or something along those lines. But this is what we have for today. It's fruit and meat and a little carbohydrate from the hot dog bun. And I didn't bring even any seasoning or condiments or whatever. We're doing it pretty natural and simple. But normally I would recommend grilling some vegetables as well. Whether or not you are a vegetarian, you gotta learn to appreciate your vegetables, folks. Those things can be good. Your corn, your green beans, your asparagus, your artichoke, your broccoli, man, your carrots. There's so many good vegetables if you know how to cook them right. Now, if you've only had them steamed in some boring old context, maybe you got to try them another way. A good default is if you've had a vegetable steamed and you think it's boring, maybe try instead cooking it in the oven with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and, maybe a little garlic powder and cayenne or something, and see how you feel about it then. Now, I'm just going to fry up this baby for a little bit, have a little snack while we continue our little celebration stream. This is one of our more random little streams, although I did want to share those Fibonacci facts, and people can leave any other comments they think might be cool about the number 15,000. Maybe we'll look up, we'll see if it shows up in any sequences in the OEIS, maybe. But The number 150,000 is a little base dependent and arbitrary. Sorry, I'm getting smoke in my eyes. Okay. It's a little base dependent and arbitrary, where it's 15 times 10 to the fourth power, which is 100 squared as well. So it's 15 times 100 squared. Honestly, the coolest fact I've ever seen about 150,000 is the fact that I mentioned earlier in this stream that ties into something I coincidentally mentioned in the latest combo class episode about Fibonacci numbers. That's the coolest thing I've seen about the number 15,000 so far. I don't care if a number ends in a bunch of zeros in our base. What does that mean? It means it is a multiple of a bunch of 2s and 5s. Ow! To break it down a little bit, what we're going to do, I'm just trying to roast the bun a little bit, As usual, do not copy. I'm just trying to roast it a little bit. So, what I want to do real quick is, it's good to break down the prime factorization of a number and see how you could do that almost automatically. 15,000 is going to go to 3 times 5 is the 15 part. However, we got a bunch more 5s in those zeros. I have 4 more 5s in the mix. So 5 to the 5, because 1 from the 3 times 5, 4 from that, and then 2 to the 4th, because we got 4 2s and 4 5s from those zeros. So that's the prime factorization of 150,000. Pretty random number. Not the specialist number of all time. So it's more of a base dependent celebration we're doing right now. But it's pretty cool. I just thought that it was wild that it was less than 300 days. We've already passed this landmark. And that it happened to show up in that episode. Let me check, though, while I take a bite out of this dog, if there's any sequences that this happens to show up in the OEIS, the Online Encyclopedia of Integer Sequences. Now, this only lists the first about 50 or 100 terms of each sequence. So it's not going to list like the sequence of all natural numbers is on there, because 150,000 is too late in that sequence to show up in our reference. But let's see if there's any sequences that is nearer to the beginning of. These are some, I'm going to eat my dog while we look at this. These are some OEIS sequences. Okay. The first one we got here is hypotenuses, for which there exist exactly 5 distinct Pythagorean triples. 10th binomial transform of this. I'm getting a lot of smoke in the eyes, folks. A lot of rare things that 150,000 happens to be one of the rare members of. Wait, I wonder if they have the one from my episode. They've got to. I'm pretty sure they do. This is the one from the episode. Length of repeating cycle of final n digits in the Fibonacci sequence. See, that's what I mentioned. I said that it went 60, 300, and then it continued to add a 0 on the further ones. So they have the same thing that we referenced in the episode. Now, okay, it's quite smoky, but these logs are catching kind of nice. To a degree. Not the hugest fire ever. If you want to see a big fire, me and Carlo filmed a pretty big fire the other day, so there's a big fire coming up in a future episode. Mm-hmm. Sorry, just got to eat this massive bite. The bread soup really dry. I didn't put any like condiments or anything on it. Okay. Still a good dog. Now, we're going to turn our nectarine. It's not ready to get yet necessarily, but we're going to turn it around. I'm also going to... Okay, no. The loquat that we put in that didn't have foil got completely singed. The loquat we put in without the foil is burnt to crisp. The loquat we put in with the foil might have become good. Okay. This loquat got semi-cooked in the fire. Now, I know that loquats actually do have an edible skin, but it's a little better sometimes to eat them with the peeled. So we're going to try and peel... this is really hot. Okay, we're going to let it sit for a minute. Then we'll do that. Now, if we want to try roasting one more loquat, this one looked plump enough to skewer maybe through the middle enough that, yep, I got it on a stick. This one we can cook as a loquat on a stick. Okay. I am really close to the fire, and the smoke does get in your eyes and stuff. If you do your own campfires, you might find yourself wanting to be a little further from them and sometimes dodging the direction. Remember that I was trying to run a live stream and be close enough to run the tech on the laptop. This is part of why I want someone else running the tech on my live streams, so I can be dodging the smoke and not having to be like simultaneously me and one computer are performing the task of filming, directing, editing, co-producing, performing, and all that. So, yeah, the smoke's going to be getting in my eyes for a minute. We're dealing with that. It's okay. I'll take one for the team. You hear that ice cream truck sound? Is that... I don't know if you can hear that. It's actually, I think, might be an ice cream truck. So this loquat got semi-cooked. Gonna let it sit a little longer. Here's the one that was sitting a minute ago that was in the foil in there for a bit. Let's see if that changed taste at all. It did. It changed taste a bit when it got cooked. So that's a cool thing. Not only do you change texture sometimes when you cook a fruit, you can change taste as well. So whenever you have a fruit that you've tried, I mean, you haven't fully tried it till you've tried it under many conditions. I think I like cooked loquat more than normal loquat. I think it's pretty good. Let's see how the loquat on a stick did. Yeah, similar, not quite as cooked as the foil wrapped hanging out next to the fire one. Yeah. So, pro tip, cooking stuff on sticks can work really well. Cooking stuff wrapped in foil tossed in the fire can sometimes work even better. Okay, so there's a hole in the bottom of the smoke. Okay. When the smoke really gets in your eyes, it really gets you. Oh, okay. So we might have to put out this baby before too long. We've appreciated some nice cookery on it and such. And hopefully you've appreciated some nice dancing of the flames, watching yourself some old school campfire caveman TV. You know, this is TV before there was a screen with electricity. Cavemen staring at the shapes that fires like this would create. So, watch yourself a little bit of caveman TV. Pretty beautiful. Sometimes I'll look at it and see little pictures, almost like little plays on the stage, being danced out by different flames between each other. Different logs interacting, almost like characters. So, quite interesting caveman TV. Now, I do think I'm going to put it out pretty soon. The funny thing about this type of fire startery log, ooh, we still got my nectarine. We'll take that out right near the end. Now, the fire startery log near it gets really hard to put out. Its job is to be a very compacted mound of cardboardy stuff. And so, unlike a log, this cardboardy thing is going to be steaming like wild even after I put it out. So, I feel like I've been steaming out the neighbors or smoking out the neighbors recently. So, sorry neighbors. Now, somebody said my nectarine in the last video made them become a patron. I hope I have added your name already to the names of the Patreon supporters in the description. I think I saw you and I did. Thank you so much. The people who support on the Patreon stuff really help me make sure that we have enough of a team and enough of this being able to be my job for us to be able to make better and better content as the grades go forward. And there will be, like I said way earlier in the stream, real quick mention again, YouTube's paying me a bonus to start this thing called memberships on this channel. It's really weird. They're like, we will pay you $500 if you start the tab called memberships. They only offered it on this channel, not the other. And so that will be starting at some point in the near-ish future. Now, to unearth this nectarine, because if the nectarine made somebody become a Patreon supporter, these nectarines must be a hit, folks. You know these things must be awesome. So, the cool thing about the nectarine is sort of the way in which the flavor changes. All stone fruits have their texture change in a similar way. They get soft and pie-like when you do this. However, the flavor change can range. Plums get almost a little tart, and they have this other sort of feeling to them. Apricots have a degree of that, and that's why the purest of flavors that I've tried this with are when I've done this with peaches and nectarines in my personal experience. So, we've gotten a majestic nectarine here. We're gonna need to put out the fire relatively soon, but I will hang out a little longer. But first, let's unveil this nectarine. Because although I'm not going to eat it right away, it would completely burn my tongue. We can let it cool off in the air while you take a peek. This one I cooked a little longer than the other, so it has almost singed. It's like there's one or two spots it's overcooked. But overall, that's just a tiny surface blemish. It's only a skin wound or whatever the Monty Python guy says. This is a awesome, delicious treat we are going to stab into. I have a fork right here because we cannot just eat a fruit like this with your mouth. You could try, but you want to have it when it's at the perfect state of warmth, where it's cooled down a little bit, but I can take a sliver off. You know that state of warmth where you take a spoonful or forkful, and it's too hot to eat right when you take it off, but after letting it sit in the air for a second or two and blowing on it once or twice, it's the right temperature to eat, that actually takes a pretty specific temperature to be too hot when you pluck it, but be ready in like 5 seconds. But that's somewhat where we're at here. And before I put out the fire, just to appreciate it with the fire, we're going to take one little forkful, although I'm going to have to let it chill on the fork for a moment before I actually bite into it. Ow! Okay, so it is hot, but don't worry. Sometimes minor pain's okay. Avoid major pain. Minor pain isn't the end of the world. It's really hot still, is why it's like really burning me. Okay. This is a piece of the peach. I'm going to flip it a little bit. Oh no, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. No, no. This is a piece of the peach, cooked and roasted. Like a slice of pie. And my hand is so covered in everything. One of each thing is on there. Now, this is shockingly delicious. It's like when you eat a bite of the right stone fruit or other fruits. Apples are good too. You can put apples in the fire like that. Really good. You can put pears in the fire like that. Really good. But stone fruits today we're looking at. The nectarine gets so delicious when you turn it into this state. It's like a pie that you realize pies don't need all the added sugar and might not even need the crust. I mean, of course, a pie is good, but you eat one of those and you're like, the fruit had all of that in itself all along. It was the fruit carrying every flavor of that pie, because I can taste the pie when I do it just with the fruit. So, we're going to put out these fires for a moment, and then we can eat a little more nectarine and chat a little more. But I am going to put this out for a moment because it is smoking out my eyes to an extreme degree, and we have cooked the things that I brought so far. So, sorry to anybody who likes only seeing my stream when the flame is in the background, but we're going to have to eliminate it temporarily. So, this inner log is going to smoke for like 5 bajillion years. That's what happened last time. I'm probably going to have to disturb the logs, unearth it, mush it around, do something or another. We'll see. That's what happened last time. For now, going to spray these. Going to run to wash off my hand. That is, I'm worried to touch the computer with because it's coated in all sorts of gunk. And then going to run right back because we never leave the classroom for more than a second or two when there's half a fire lit. And, I mean, a metaphorical second, which means a minute or two. And then we'll see if I need to do some chaos stuff with this log to actually get it out. We needed to eliminate the fire for the latter portion of the stream. It'll maybe draw more squirrels and cats, so there will certainly be more fun wildlife still. And 1 or 2 more fun things to chat about. Somebody asked if I grew any of my own fruits, and these loquats did grow in the yard. The nectarine did not. However, there are other fruit trees in the front yard that, you know, as I run out there, I'll see if on the off chance an apple's ready. We're right near the beginning of the season where the earliest apples are close to ready, at least. So, Let me wash off these chaos hands and be back in a second to see to what degree I need to like wrestle around with this inner log to get the cardboardy stuff off. Yes, like suspected, this thing does not like to go out. So I'm going to need to mess around with it for a bit. Get all these little bits out. So, thank you all for sticking around. And yes, welcome especially to Magic Fellow and Stick. Those are some moderators around here who extra help me on the Discord and stuff too. And shout out to all my combo lords. I guess you were looking at the very boring page for a moment in the background that I had open, which was the chat with a delay. Or I don't even know if you could see the chat. Maybe you could just see the random graph or whatever. Speaking of random graphs, I wanted to note that I'm going to pull open the graph a little moment. I'm not sure if I'm going to show the exact graph in case it shows any personal info, but I hope this doesn't mess this up somehow. Hopefully not. I'm pulling up the graph for my other account, the Convo Class account, because this channel did not exist 1 year ago. And in this title, I said 300 days we built all this stuff. I was also curious what the Combo Class channel looked like 300 days ago. Because if I look at all my subscribers on Combo Class right here, from my lifetime, on 1 year ago, the Combo Class channel had 159 subscribers. So that was all of the YouTube fan base there was 1 year ago. 159 subscribers on the main combo class channel. This channel did not exist yet. Now, 300 days ago when this channel got created, let's say a little under 300 days ago when this channel posted its first video. Now, to be fair, I had filmed some of the, you don't post stuff the moment you film it, usually. So I had filmed stuff for a few months before that. So, it's been more like a year that I have been filming for this channel. Although I have been releasing since less than 300 days. Now, when I released the first video on this channel, the combo class channel still had September 1st, 199 subscribers. So that 300 days ago when I say that this channel went from 0 to 150,000 from scratch, at the beginning of that, I did not have a fan base or whatever from the other channel. The combo class channel was at just under 200 combo lords subscribed to it at that point. I had posted some videos on TikTok, and I don't know, I probably had a few thousand on there. It's up to 50,000 now. Some of them I've done really well that I've now posted on there as well. But I don't really care about that as much. I'm a YouTube boy. I love my YouTube people. I have been thinking about streaming on another platform for fun, just to be more casual, because I don't want to, put copyright stuff on my YouTube channel or stuff. But in that case, all my best stuff will end up edited at some point on YouTube as well, because this is my favorite platform. Now, at some point before long, I am going to, like I said, try doing a stream on Twitch just for fun, where I'll do a few streams on there just when I'm in the mood to be referencing more copyright-ish stuff that I don't necessarily want to put in combo class YouTube channels in case they get mad about copyright, and where maybe I will be swearing more or referencing adult type of content more, where not everyone likes that on here. And I will cut down the important best bits for YouTube, because, like I said, this is the platform I love. But I will probably be doing that at some point, just as a fun little side experiment at some point. As another little experimental playground, like this channel is technically my playground, and my best, most efficient episodes do end up on the combo class channel. And somebody asked what combo class means. Is an expression everyone in the US knows. Now, combo class means a lot of things to me. I'm not going to go exactly into why I named it that, but I will note, as far as, is it an expression people know? People know combo as short for combination, and a lot of people have their own connotations with it. Some people might think, oh, it's a video game combo, or some people might think it's a combo in this particular art field or whatever. So everyone has their own connotations maybe with what it means, but in general, it's short for combination. And so some people also think there's a type of thing called combo classes, is a nickname for when you have multiple grades sharing the same class in institution. Like when I was in third grade, half my class was third grade, half was fourth grade. Stuff like that is sometimes called a combo class. That's not why I named it that, neither is the video game combo reference. But there are many types of things that combinations are important for here. Additionally, combo is part of the lore of my friend group and my philosophy I'll get into more in the future. But in general, as you learn more about me, you'll know more about the combo aspect, but it's basically short for combination. Now, thank you from everybody who's noting all the random things, like thanks to our mods, people who wondering how many came from that channel. Not many cross over that much from the channels. This channel has such a big audience, partially just because I've put so many shorts on here. And I want them to go to the other channel too, because the other channel has my extra best work. And then vice versa, some people on the other channel don't care about my bonus stuff on here. So there is my best fans, my closest fans are on both channels for sure, but there's a good amount that are just on one channel or the other. So there's a good amount of non-crossover as well. Now, same with the TikTok. A lot of all the 50,000 people subscribed to me on TikTok. A lot of them are not subscribed here. When I first made these channels, almost none went over. Almost zero people that I was like on TikTok go over to YouTube. I think TikTok has a way of like self-sabotaging it, where when you mention the word YouTube, I swear they make the video do worse or something. So I have weird mini personal conspiracy theories about that. But in any case, it did not do well to try and promote YouTube through TikTok. And so almost nobody crossed over from TikTok to YouTube. Some crossover between my channels here. I wish more did, because really this is my personal playground. Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm annoyed you're saying opinions on this channel instead of pure math. And I'm like, son, you got something backwards. I got a channel for less opinionated stuff. I have an entire channel for educational resources. This is my channel that may have more opinions and stuff and random campfires and stuff like that on it. Somebody's wondering if I have a favorite class or episode or short so far. Now, while I can't pick a favorite, I will say my favorite things I've done are my main episodes on my combo class channel. I'm pretty proud of almost all of those. I'll really quickly go through the video tab to say a few that I remember being extra proud of maybe. I really love all of these. These are, wait, it's cutting some off. These are all the combo class episodes on the main channel. So some of my favorite ones on here involve, this was one of the biggest hits, the rare levels beyond exponents. I really like some of these. I love capturing infinity with fractions, why 3 even should be in the dictionary. I love my base series about all the, I did base -10, then fractional irrational bases, then other base 2i. I love this one, Spiky Shapes. Hyperdice sequence, that one's really great. See, I love a lot of these. My combo class ones, I'm really proud of. I like all these. So those are the ones I recommend the most. I can't pick just one. I put them in grades so people can have their own favorite, like, you know how some people like seasons of TV shows? Well, maybe some people will be like, I like grade -4 the most. That was the best grade or whatever, in your opinion. Because some will like different styles. And although grade -2 was pretty similar to grade -1, I've never promised anything on more than a single month level about what these channels would be about. They're really just about me trying to do good things and fun things for the world. And I'm very into math and will probably continue to be very math heavy. And I also may take other tangents over the years, and this won't necessarily change the content style. But I'm really thinking of moving out to the woods for a bit. My YouTube income is not enough money to pay for rent anywhere here. I live with my parents. It's good. I know you guys love my set in my parents' backyard, but I need a time where I move away somewhere, and I'm going to visit here all the time. I'll bring half the clocks to my new set, and I'll leave half here, and we'll come back here all the time. Don't worry, I'm not going to... My cat Dandelion and my cat Sage and Sassafras live here. I'm not going to go that long without Sage and Dandelion and Sassafras. Don't worry. But I can't afford living somewhere in my city right now outside of this house. But I could theoretically afford living somewhere in like the woods where it's way cheaper. And I'm considering that. You know, I actually can't quite afford that yet, but there might be a little arc where more of my videos are filmed by me on a tripod in the woods. Of course, Carlo and my other camera people are going to be welcome to come and visit a bunch, and they will. But I might have to just move out into the woods for a while, and I don't know if I'm going to have a camera person there 100% of the time. So we're going to get different arcs, but it's going to be fun. If you try and grow with me, not only will you learn with me and laugh with me, but you'll grow with me. Something not everyone remembers or understands is that I like exploring and taking field trips and going different places. And I wasn't able to do that really during grade -1 because I was getting 2 major hip surgeries throughout the course of grade -1. So there's going to be more exploring and random stuff at future times. Now, to whoever asked where I live, yes, I'm in the Bay Area of California. In fact, I've already mentioned in a video, and since it may be applicable in future episodes, I'm just going to start saying I live in Berkeley, California. It's a big enough city. That's where also my private mailbox is, in a different part of Berkeley. So it's a big enough city. I'm just going to say that because it's applicable to certain stories. I live in Berkeley, California. If anybody's ever in the zone, feel free to email me, even though I know to everybody who emails me, I'm bad at getting back to emails sometimes. I'm going to focus on that again throughout this weekend now that I've finished an awesome combo class episode to have people watching my main content for the next week. We've had a bunch of cool ones recently. The last few are maybe 10 days apart or so, but still a lot of cool ones on that combo class channel, including our new Fibonacci one. And I will spend a little time this weekend not worrying about live streaming nonstop, but getting back to a few people who have contacted me and such. Now, so there will be random trips and adventures. Some of those we may not be able to live stream during because I don't know how Wi-Fi is going to go down or Ethernet is going to go down in every location. So there could be locations where we have a little arc in where I'm only able to record videos and post them when I can. But the thing is, when I say I'm not going to, if there's ever like what I call a break, it's usually less than a week. I love my channels. I love doing stuff on my channels. So if I'm ever like, oh, we're taking a break or whatever, it's probably going to be like less than a week. Now, those are some little random stuff that I wanted to chat about throughout this little, really, not, in a way, not important, in a way, magnificently important moment. We have passed 150,000 subscribers, and instead of, for people who didn't watch the early part of the stream, I played a little bonus video you might want to watch after this goes to like a full video. I let the stream stay, that I showed of a little bonus video I filmed with Carlo about 150,000. That was almost going to be the content I put out for today, but I decided I'm in the mood instead to do an 1.5-hour stream that as a little chunk of it. I mean, I didn't decide the 1.5-hour part in advance, but looks like that's how long it's been. I think I am going to log off in the near future. Feel free to leave any last comments. This is finally done smoking for the most part. There's a little bit under there that's still smoking. So the last thing we do want to look at is I said I'd present a slightly closer look at the nectarine. It has now cooled more. And if you look at this cooked nectarine, as you take chunks off it, that are like a chunk of a pie without needing any of the artificial sugar. That is really good. Now, for those who don't want to do the campfire, because like I said, don't copy unless you do your own research. Don't copy based on my actions. You can do this in an oven. Find yourself a nectarine or a peach. Wrap it in foil. Put it in the oven. Give it a little test once in a while so you don't get it too singed on the outside. This one I got pretty close to the burning point. Ovens can do this trick too. That was really good. And I'm going to eat the rest of that as soon as I log off here. Now, I love you all. To those who, someone noted they clicked for the math but stayed for the baked fruit. That is a good goal of mine sometimes, to trick people in from different realms of reality. Sometimes it's the vice versa. Sometimes somebody sees me lighting a fire, comes in, and ends up learning a math fact. But maybe it's the other way around too. Maybe sometimes people know how to appreciate math facts. They come in for one of those, and maybe they leave with either a laugh or a philosophical thought or some way of appreciating life or whatever you get from it. So, I love you all so much. Make sure that you've seen the new combo class episode about Fibonacci numbers linked in the description here. And there will be, as you know, a lot of more random fun content before long on both of my channels. I am going to end our stream here. Wish you all a good day, and I will see you all in the next one.